Hey everyone, this is Pestily here, bringing you a guide to starting out in Escape from Tarkov. Over the past 6 months, while I've been streaming Escape from Tarkov, I've found a lot of people coming to ask me about questions in which I want to address in this video and videos to come. So when you install the game and open it up, the first screen you'll come across is the name screen. Don't stress too much about this. If you don't like your name, you have the ability to change it once per game. Otherwise, you can wipe your account every 2 weeks. When you start again, you can adjust it then. Then you'll select to either go USEC or Bear Faction. The essentials to this would be, would you rather go a guy that speaks Russian in his voice commands or English? You'll find the majority of North American and Oceania players will play the USEC class, and EU and Russian will majority pick Bear. I usually pick USEC because I find the commands funny to use in combat. From here we'll go into character and we'll go through the items here. Your starting items will vary depending on which version of the game you have. So I currently have Edge of Darkness Edition, but when I first started out, I bought the Standard Edition, and later on just paid the extra bit of money to upgrade to the Edge of Darkness Edition. Therefore, I have a few extra items compared to someone who starts out with Standard Edition. Edge of Darkness Edition will get you the Gamma Container and extra storage space. Besides that, the other items don't make the biggest difference compared to any other video you see out there. It's more of supporting the developers and giving yourself a little bit extra space so you can just store more items later on. But initially, there's not much difference. Most people would look at this and go, holy crap, there's a lot of gear, what do I go through first? And what do I need, what do I sell, etc, etc. Well, effectively the main items you need are the Tushonka, which is the food items, and the Selawa. And if you have Edge of Darkness, then you'll have a Fort Armor as well as a Kiva. And you should hold on to those items because you'll need them for tasks later on. Effectively everything else is free game and you can use at your own disposal. So what I generally do at the start is I sell a lot of my starting items that I'm not going to use in the first week, and I'll just be able to use that money to buy stuff like more AK-74Us, more ammo, more mags, and making it faster to get into more raids, get more gear, sell more stuff, make more money, and continue on through the tasks and enjoying the game for longer rather than stressing out about 1 or 2 sniper rifles, etc. So when you're starting out, for weapon choice I would go with your pistols or AK-74Us, which will give you good bang for buck, get you into more raids, get you to kill people, steal their loot, sell their loot, or use it and repeat the process. I usually go in with some sort of rig because it helps you with your reloading ability and carriage of ammo and meds, but I don't stress too much about wearing armor, such as your packer, cold pack, tri-zip, etc, because it spends more money early, and at the start of the wipe, you just want to start making as much money as possible. Early on, I don't really take many backpacks, but if I do, I'll buy an MBSS because I think they're about 3,000 rubles, which is quite cheap. But I wouldn't bother using my tri-zips unless I was in a group and had a bit more security on them. And I'll go into later on the med system, but effectively early on, your AI2s and your bandages are your lifesavers. So you want to go into every single raid carrying at least 1 or 2 AI2s and a bandage, or maybe even 2 or 3. Later on, you'll be able to get stuff like car med kits, Salawas, and IFAKs, which will have the bandage process within it. But early on, you'll need to use bandages to stop your bleeding. You may also have stuff like a pistol case inside your stash if you have Edge of Darkness Edition. Effectively, all you can put in that is magazines and ammo and pistols. So it's not much of an advantage at all. And finally, before we go on to traders, I'll explain there's 3 types of money, being the rubles, dollars, and euros. Rubles works for all traders except for Peacekeeper. Dollars is used for Peacekeeper because he has the majority of American weaponry. And finally, euros is used for your IKs and weapon cases. So what I'm going on to here is I'm actually going into the traders to sell some of the items I don't want, as well as that I'm going to examine every single item the traders have up for sale. The advantage of doing this is when you find an item in raid, you won't actually be able to loot it straight away until you examine it, and you don't want to be losing those seconds where you're vulnerable to examining items. So I go through all the traders, examine every single person, and make sure everything I can examine is examined. So when I'm in a raid, there's no problems with that. Currently there are 5 traders and they all have their own little purpose. There's a new one coming apparently in the next patch or 2. The developers like to keep the cards close to their chest regarding information on upcoming content. So in a recent patch, they actually added multiple spawn points for each map, and these positions can be selected if you purchase a map before entering a map. Have the selected map in your inventory or container before you enter. So what I want to touch on here quickly is just a bit about gear fear. So a lot of people have this crazy thing where they just like to hoard and hoard and hoard, and they never use any of their gears. And particularly when starting out, I highly recommend you use the gear and enjoy it and find different things and see what you're good at. So therefore you will get better at all the guns. You'll kill more people because you're actually using better guns or scopes, sights, etc, etc. And overall, you'll actually get better at the game. So what I'm going on to here is I'm actually selecting out the tasks in the game and where to find them. So you go to each of the traders and there will be a task tab at the top. The first one you'll be able to do is Prepare, which is called Debut. It involves you going to customs to kill 3 scavs, as well as finding 3 M133 shotguns, which can also just be purchased from the traders, as well as the other quests you can do from Therapist, which involves you finding 5 Salwa. And this is why I say that don't sell or use your Salwa that you have in your starting stash. So the name of the game is to escape from Tarkov. So when you start playing the game, you need to learn where all the escapes are, so you're not just fumbling around and an easy target, becoming vulnerable. So for example, if you finish a quest, you want to be able to exit, and you need to know where all the exits are, as well as it also helps to know where all the start points are. So what I'm going to do is I'll have a link below with all the maps located for you, and I'll be able to have this guide so you can actually see your start point and escape. So now that you're ready to start doing a raid, you've got your gear set up, you've examined everything at the traders, you've got your first tasks, you need to go into a raid. You'll have the option to pick between Scav and PMC. PMC is your loadout, whereas Scav is a computer generated loadout where you'll be part of the Russian faction and you'll be working with other Scavs and computers. However, what has happened a lot recently is a lot of other Scav players will just shoot you on sight and they're not really working together. So computers won't attack you unless you attack another Scav. But for this video, let's just focus on going as PMC. So when you're starting out, the 2 maps I would recommend focusing on is Customs and Factory. Factory is a very close quarter small map, which you'll get a lot of loot easily and be able to escape. Otherwise, Customs has most of your initial quests, and that's why you should start focusing on there. Then you'll get to the insurance screen, and there's 2 people you can insure with. I didn't know this, but at the start, I wasn't always insuring, and I found out that you should always insure. The way it works is when you die, any item that is left in that raid, even if a player kills you but doesn't loot you, any item that's left in that raid will be returned to you if you're with Prepare within 24 to 36 hours, or Therapist 12 to 24, however she is more expensive. And after you have finished insuring your gear, you'll be on the lobby screen where you can squad up with mates or enter solo. Just be warned that if a random person invites you to their group, that they are trying to steal your gear, so wary of random invites. And now you're ready to start your journey and escape from Tarkov. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found something of value from this video, and I'll be continuing to make videos from now on, but I thought this would be a good way to address most of the newer questions to the game. If you enjoyed the video and want to support me and to see more, please feel free to subscribe below and pop into my Twitch channel to ask any question chat. Furthermore, you can post questions below and I'll reply there. Lastly, if you can find your name on one of the dog tags I've collected and you comment your in-game name below, I'll add you and help you out with task items or give away valuable keys. Thanks again.